In a bustling urban neighborhood, a social worker finds herself grappling with a complex scenario involving a single mother and her 3 children, ages 6, 9, and 12. The mother, who recently lost her job due to company downsizing, is facing immense financial strain and mounting stress. As a result, the family is on the brink of homelessness due to rising rent costs in the area. Physically, the social worker is meeting with the family in their cramped apartment, where the air is thick with worry and uncertainty. In terms of the therapeutic process, they are at the critical juncture of identifying immediate needs and formulating interventions. With the imperative to address the family's housing instability and financial stress, which level of social work intervention would be most effective in this scenario? A. Micro-level intervention targeting direct assistance, such as connecting the family with emergency housing resources and financial aid programs. B. Mezzo-level intervention involving collaboration with community-based organizations to access support groups and advocacy services focused on housing rights and financial literacy. C. Macro-level intervention centered around engaging local policymakers and advocating for affordable housing policies and economic empowerment initiatives for low-income families in the neighborhood. D. Mezzo-level intervention aimed at providing counseling and psychoeducation to enhance the family's coping skills, stress management techniques, and budgeting strategies. A. Micro-level intervention targeting direct assistance, such as connecting the family with emergency housing resources and financial aid programs. Given the family's immediate risk of homelessness and urgent financial needs, a micro-level intervention focused on providing direct assistance is the most appropriate approach. This intervention aligns with the social work principle of addressing clients' immediate needs and providing tangible support to alleviate their pressing concerns. In an alternative high school, a social worker finds herself confronted with a challenging scenario involving a group of adolescents exhibiting disruptive behavior in class. These adolescents hail from diverse backgrounds, each with unique family dynamics and levels of support. The social worker's goal is to delve into the underlying issues fueling their behavior, all while fostering positive peer relationships and facilitating academic success. Given the multifaceted nature of the adolescents' behavioral issues and the imperative to promote their overall well-being, which level of social work intervention would be most effective in this scenario? A. Micro-level intervention focusing on individual counseling sessions with each adolescent to explore their personal challenges, develop coping strategies, and build resilience. B. Mezzo-level intervention involving the formation of peer support groups within the school community, providing a safe space for adolescents to share experiences, receive peer support, and learn social skills. C. Macro-level intervention centered around collaborating with school administrators and educators to implement school-wide positive behavior interventions and support systems, such as restorative justice programs and trauma-informed practices. D. Mezzo-level intervention aimed at conducting family counseling sessions to address underlying family dynamics, strengthen parent-child relationships, and establish a supportive home environment conducive to the adolescent's well-being. C. Macro-level intervention centered around collaborating with school administrators and educators to implement school-wide positive behavior interventions and support systems, such as restorative justice programs and trauma-informed practices. Given the complexity and systemic nature of the behavioral issues observed among the adolescents, a macro-level intervention is most appropriate. Collaborating with school administrators and educators to implement school-wide positive behavior interventions and support systems addresses the root causes of the disruptive behavior, fosters a supportive environment for all students, and promotes lasting change within the school community. This approach acknowledges the need for systemic change and leverages resources and strategies at the institutional level to create a positive and inclusive learning environment. In a rural community, a social worker, Deborah, is providing support to a local food pantry that serves families experiencing food insecurity. Over the past year, Deborah has witnessed a significant increase in the number of families seeking assistance due to financial hardships exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic. Many families struggle to access nutritious food options and face barriers such as transportation and affordability. Deborah believes that advocating for policy changes at the state level could help address these systemic issues and improve access to healthy food for vulnerable populations. What level of social work intervention would be most appropriate for Deborah to address food insecurity at a systemic level? A. Micro-level intervention, focusing on providing direct food assistance to individual families in need. B. Mezzo-level intervention, collaborating with local community organizations to increase awareness and resources for food assistance programs. C. Macro-level intervention, advocating for policy changes and funding allocations at the state or federal level to address systemic issues contributing to food insecurity. D. None of the above, as food insecurity should be addressed through individual or family-level interventions only. C. Macro-level intervention, advocating for policy changes and funding allocations at the state or federal level to address systemic issues contributing to food insecurity. Macro-level social work intervention involves addressing systemic issues and implementing policy changes to create long-term solutions. Advocating for policy changes at the state or federal level is the most appropriate approach to address food insecurity on a broader scale and ensure sustainable access to nutritious food options for vulnerable populations in the community. Janice is providing therapy to a married couple, Alex and Emily. Alex and Emily have been married for 10 years and are facing significant challenges in their relationship. Over the past year, they have been experiencing increasing conflict and communication breakdowns related to finances, parenting disagreements, and intimacy issues. The onset of these problems coincided with Alex losing his job, leading to financial strain and tension in their household. They are at the initial stage of therapy, seeking help to address their marital issues and improve their relationship. Which level of social work intervention would be most appropriate for addressing Alex and Emily's marital issues and improving their relationship? A. Micro-level intervention, focusing on individual counseling for Alex and Emily separately to explore their personal experiences and emotions within the relationship. B. Mezzo-level intervention, involving couples therapy sessions with Janice to facilitate communication, negotiation, and problem-solving skills between Alex and Emily. C. Macro-level intervention, connecting Alex and Emily with community resources such as financial counseling services, parenting support groups, and couples retreats to address their multifaceted issues. D. None of the above, as the couple's issues are beyond the scope of social work practice and require specialized legal or financial expertise. B. Mezzo-level intervention, involving couples therapy sessions with Janice to facilitate communication, negotiation, and problem-solving skills between Alex and Emily. Mezzo-level intervention refers to intervention strategies that operate at an intermediate level, typically involving small groups or families. In this case, couples therapy sessions with Janice, the social worker, constitute a mezzo-level intervention. By participating in therapy sessions together, Alex and Emily can explore their feelings, concerns, and goals in a safe and structured environment. Through guided discussions and therapeutic techniques, they can learn more effective ways of relating to each other and develop strategies for resolving conflicts constructively. Ultimately, couples therapy offers a tailored and targeted approach to addressing the couple's specific needs and goals, making it the best fit for their situation. Edward, a licensed clinical social worker, is collaborating with a community organization in a suburban neighborhood to address the rising issue of substance abuse among adolescents. The community has noticed an uptick in underage drinking and drug experimentation among teenagers, leading to concerns about long-term consequences on youth well-being and community safety. Edward has been working with the organization for several months and has gathered data indicating that the onset of substance abuse issues in adolescents typically begins during their high school years, with peer pressure and lack of parental involvement identified as contributing factors. The organization has secured funding to develop and implement a comprehensive prevention program. The program includes educational workshops, peer support groups, and outreach initiatives targeting at-risk youth and their families. What level of social work intervention would present the most challenging dilemma in addressing substance abuse prevention at a community level? A. Macro-level intervention, advocating for policy changes at the state level to increase funding for substance abuse prevention programs in schools and communities. B. Mezzo-level intervention, involving group therapy sessions for adolescents from the same high school to address peer pressure and social norms. C. Micro-level intervention, focusing on providing individual counseling to adolescents struggling with substance abuse issues. D. None of the above, as all interventions are equally valuable in addressing substance abuse prevention at the community level. A. Macro-level intervention, advocating for policy changes at the state level to increase funding for substance abuse prevention programs in schools and communities. While micro and mezzo-level interventions are essential in addressing individual and small group needs, advocating for policy changes at the macro level presents the most significant challenging dilemma. This level of intervention involves navigating complex political landscapes, potential conflicts of interest, and competing priorities among stakeholders. Additionally, it requires social workers to confront systemic barriers and advocate for systemic change, which may involve challenging entrenched power structures and allocating resources equitably. Thus, the macro-level intervention presents unique ethical considerations related to social justice, advocacy, and systemic impact. Sarah, a licensed clinical social worker, is faced with a complex situation while providing counseling to a group of survivors of domestic violence at a local women's shelter. The group comprises women from diverse backgrounds who have endured various forms of abuse from their intimate partners. With many survivors having recently escaped their abusive homes and sought refuge at the shelter, Sarah's objective is to extend emotional support, safety planning, and link the survivors with community resources to aid in their healing and transition to independent living. However, given the varied needs and experiences of the survivors, Sarah grapples with determining the most effective social work intervention level. She acknowledges the urgency of addressing their immediate safety concerns while also recognizing the importance of empowering them to rebuild their lives and transition to independent living. What is the most suitable approach for Sarah to effectively balance this dilemma? A. Individual-level intervention focusing on providing personalized counseling and support to each survivor. B. Group-level intervention involving therapy sessions to foster peer support and empowerment among the survivors. C. Systemic-level intervention advocating for policy changes and increased funding for domestic violence shelters and support services. D. Integrative approach combining individual, group, and systemic-level interventions to comprehensively address the complex needs of the survivors. D. Integrative approach combining individual, group, and systemic-level interventions to comprehensively address the complex needs of the survivors. While each of the interventions mentioned, individual, group, and systemic, has its merits, an integrative approach that combines all three levels of intervention would be most effective in addressing the multifaceted needs of the survivors of domestic violence. By providing personalized counseling at the individual level, facilitating group therapy sessions to foster peer support and empowerment, and advocating for systemic changes such as policy reforms and increased funding, Sarah can ensure a comprehensive and holistic approach to supporting the survivors in their journey toward healing and independence. This approach allows for the addressing of immediate safety concerns, emotional support, and empowerment while also working towards long-term systemic changes to prevent future instances of domestic violence and enhance support services for survivors. In a suburban neighborhood grappling with safety concerns, social worker Emily collaborates with the local neighborhood association to combat increasing incidents of vandalism and theft. Residents are feeling increasingly unsafe, especially at night. Emily and the association convene regularly, brainstorming ideas, gathering resident input, and seeking guidance from law enforcement. What is the most suitable level of social work intervention to address these concerns and promote crime prevention strategies? A. Micro-level intervention, offering individual counseling sessions to residents affected by safety issues to address their fears and anxieties. B. Mezzo-level intervention, organizing the neighborhood association and residents to establish neighborhood watch programs and implement safety initiatives. C. Macro-level intervention, advocating for policy changes and increased funding for community policing programs and crime prevention efforts at the city or county level. D. Integrative approach, incorporating individual, group, and systemic interventions to comprehensively tackle the multifaceted needs of the community. B. Mezzo-level intervention, involving organizing and mobilizing the neighborhood association and community members to establish neighborhood watch programs and implement safety initiatives. Mezzo-level interventions focus on working with groups or communities to address issues collectively. In this scenario, organizing and mobilizing the neighborhood association and residents to establish neighborhood watch programs aligns with a mezzo-level approach. This strategy empowers community members to take ownership of their safety concerns, fosters a sense of collective responsibility, and promotes community cohesion. By implementing neighborhood watch programs and safety initiatives, residents can actively contribute to crime prevention efforts and create a safer environment for themselves and their neighbors. During their transition to civilian life, what level of social work intervention would be most appropriate for addressing the needs of military veterans who have recently returned from deployment and are encountering difficulties reintegrating into civilian life? A. Micro-level intervention, focusing on individual counseling and support services. B. Macro-level intervention, involving advocacy for policy changes to improve veteran services and support. C. Mezzo-level intervention, involving group therapy sessions to facilitate peer support among veterans. D. None of the above. A. Micro-level intervention, focusing on individual counseling and support services. In this scenario, where military veterans are facing challenges reintegrating into civilian life, a micro-level intervention would be most appropriate. Micro-level interventions involve direct services and support provided to individuals or small groups to address their specific needs. Individual counseling and support services offered by a social worker at the Veteran Center can help address the immediate concerns of veterans, such as mental health issues, unemployment, and homelessness, by providing personalized assistance and therapeutic interventions tailored to each veteran's situation. This approach allows for a more individualized and client-centered response to the veteran's needs during their transition to civilian life. In a suburban middle school, the social worker is grappling with a surge in bullying incidents among students, which has sparked alarm about their safety and emotional health. The school's administrators and teachers have enlisted the social worker's expertise to devise a comprehensive strategy to tackle this issue head-on. Considering the need for a targeted approach that directly addresses the school environment, interpersonal dynamics, and social norms contributing to bullying, which level of social work intervention is best suited for this situation? A. Micro-level intervention, focusing on individual counseling sessions with bullied students to build coping skills and resilience. B. Mezzo-level intervention, involving group counseling sessions and peer support programs to foster positive relationships and peer intervention. C. Macro-level intervention, advocating for policy changes and implementing school-wide anti-bullying campaigns to promote a culture of respect and inclusivity. D. Mesio-level intervention, implementing targeted interventions within the school environment to address specific factors contributing to bullying, such as promoting empathy-building activities and conflict resolution workshops. D. Mezzo level intervention, implementing targeted interventions within the school environment to address specific factors contributing to bullying, such as promoting empathy-building activities and conflict resolution workshops. Mezzo level intervention, also known as intermediate or middle level intervention, is the most appropriate choice for addressing bullying prevention in the school setting. This level of intervention targets specific factors within the school environment that contribute to bullying behavior. By implementing targeted strategies such as empathy-building activities, conflict resolution workshops, and promoting positive peer interactions, Mezzo-level interventions aim to create a supportive and inclusive school climate. These interventions operate within the school context, focusing on modifying social norms and addressing systemic factors that perpetuate bullying, thus offering a comprehensive approach to prevention and intervention. I trust this video has proven to be informative in enhancing your comprehension of social work license exam questions. If you're interested in expanding your studies, I assure you a captivating and enlightening 90-minute study session where we'll analyze questions and explore real-world applications. Come and join me for an amazing learning experience. Enroll today and gain access to an amazing chance to receive my exclusive ebook with 70 social work practice questions or my comprehensive online practice exam with 150 social work questions. And that's not all. As a bonus, you will also receive my highly sought-after Strategies for Success activity ebook at no cost. This amazing bundle is crafted to empower you on your learning journey and guarantee your ongoing success. Don't pass up on this opportunity. Enroll today. Visit my website, gilbertmbell.com, and find the sign-up link in the description below. Alternatively, you could text the word study to 347-683-7923. I am excited to study alongside you and assist you in reaching your full potential as a social worker. Thank you once more for tuning in.